Picture this: a dusty little train depot in Montana, 1893, sitting lonely on the edge of nowhere, where the wind howls like it's got a grudge and the sun bakes the earth dry as old bones. A woman steps off the train, her wedding dress once white, now gray with soot and sorrow clinging to her like a bad memory. Clara's her name, and she's holding a crumpled letter, her eyes hollow, like she's been running from something or towards something for too damn long. Nobody's there to meet her, no husband, no flowers, no nothing. Just a couple of old-timers muttering as they shuffle by. Another mail-order bride, ditched. Clara doesn't flinch. She just sits on a splintered bench, staring at the horizon like it might tell her where her life went wrong. Then, out of nowhere, this little kid, maybe 5, with dirt on his cheeks and eyes like a clear river, stops dead in his tracks, points right at her, and says, loud as you please, "That's my mama." The other kids laugh, call him a fool, but this boy, Jamie, he's serious. I seen her in Pa's sketchbook, the one he hides in the barn. Clara's heart stops. She whispers, "Jamie? Who's your pa?" The boy grins, "Caleb Harrow." And just like that, her world tilts. See, Clara's story ain't just about showing up in a beat-up dress. Back in Boston, her father, a cold, cigar-chomping man with a ledger for a heart, forced her to sign away her life. "You marry who I say, or your boy grows up a beggar," he'd growled, shoving a fake death notice for her son across his desk. She'd written that letter, the one in her hand now, under his thumb, promising herself to a stranger to save her kid. But she never stopped searching, whispering prayers into the dark, hoping Jamie was still out there. Now, here's this boy, calling her mama, and naming a man she loved and lost years ago. Clara follows Jamie to the Harrow Ranch, a weathered spread hugged by crooked fences and storm clouds. Caleb's out front, swinging an axe like he's got a score to settle with the wood. Their eyes lock, and the air feels like it's holding its breath. He's older now, harder, with lines carved deep in his face. Jamie, inside. He barks, and the boy scurries off, leaving Clara at the gate. She tries to speak. "I looked for you, Caleb, I swear." But he cuts her off, voice sharp as a blade. "You left. No word, no nothing." She crumples, rain starting to fall, soaking her dress to her skin. "I didn't choose to leave," she chokes out, but he's already turning away, slamming the door behind him. Inside, Caleb's a storm of his own. For years he's raised Jamie alone, believing Clara ran off, maybe for a richer man, maybe for a softer life. He'd gotten a wedding announcement in the mail, her name, some strangers, like a knife in the gut. But that night, as rain pounds the roof, an old postman named Amos shows up, guilt written all over his face. He hands Caleb a letter, edges stained with time and blood. "This was meant for you, years back," he mutters. "Her father paid me to bury it." Caleb reads Clara's words, how she was locked away, beaten, forced to marry a man she didn't know. "I fought, Caleb. I tried to come back." His hands shake. He sinks to the porch steps, a tear cutting through the dust on his cheek. "She fought," he whispers, "and I hated her for it." Then, chaos hits. Jamie's burning up, fever turning his face red as embers. Clara bursts through the door, soaked, eyes wild. "I'm taking him to the dock," she says, scooping him up, her voice fierce despite her trembling arms. Caleb steps in, "Give him to me," but she snaps, "I failed him once, I won't again." Something shifts. He doesn't take Jamie. Instead, he wraps his coat around them both, shielding them as they trudge through the storm to the preacher's house. By the firelight, Clara holds Jamie's hand, and Caleb's hand finds her shoulder. No words, just a shared breath, and the walls between them start to crack. Time passes, quiet and slow. Clara stays, planting wildflowers, laughing with Jamie as he chases chickens. Caleb watches, softening, brushing her arm as she cooks. One night, Jamie pipes up over stew. "When you two getting married? I want a real family." Clara chokes on her water. Caleb just smiles. "Soon, kid. He's got a ring, his ma's, ready for the harvest festival." But when the day comes, a man rides in, Ezra Holt, scar-faced and mean, claiming Clara as his wife. "She signed the papers," he sneers, flashing a document. Clara steps forward, voice like steel. "I signed with a broken wrist and a gun to my head." Caleb's fist meets Ezra's jaw before he can blink. They brawl, dust flying, until Amos and the preacher pull them apart, shouting about Clara's stolen letter. The sheriff hauls Ezra off, spitting threats. Caleb, bloodied but unbroken, kneels before Clara, ring in hand. No paper, no lie, no man will take you from us again. Marry me, she sobs. Yes, 1,000 times. Under a golden Montana sunset, they wed in a field of wildflowers, Jamie cheering, "Kiss her, Pa." The crowd laughs, and Caleb does, deep and true. They're a family, scarred but whole. But here's the thing, what would you do if you found out someone hid the truth that could have saved years of pain? Was Amos just a coward, or was he trapped too? Drop a comment. Tell me, where does forgiveness end and justice begin? Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more stories where love fights harder than the toughest storms.